Welcome to my channel, to all my fantastic friends. The world safe areas, the prophecy, including the safe zones, which is the hope for humanity, and therefore we need to put attention. As Paravichini mentioned in this psychography, keep your eyes open, the total change of structures of the world will come. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1938. Here we see that the world elites obviously know something more and are obviously preparing silently beforehand because they know the air changes will arrive. We are definitely at a critical point as we can perceive it, and obviously experiencing slowly those critical moments. However, we're still not there yet, thankfully. But if we take a look at a serious evidence that saw and foresaw our future, we notice that it definitely looks different, and not considering World War III, which will be pretty devastating, as we see trillions of dollars being spent by world governments around the world for what it looks like an imminent third world war, as we can see clearly happening in the near future. And Paravichini mentions that we have to be smart enough to keep our eyes open to notice and perceiving these imminent changes. Reason why we're gonna be talking about Benjamin Solary Paravichini. So, who was he? He was an Argentinian artist who became famous after the 9/11 events. He also drew the Fukushima bomb way before it happened, and also drew the first dog going into space, and also much more. He has thousands of psychographies, meaning pictures and drawings with a text inside. Paravichini was truly a special kid since he could communicate with angels, fairies, and past spirits, including extraterrestrials, who he called them star navigators. But you can catch that in my previous videos in order to understand. So let's go to the root of this video. So we can ask ourselves, where is the safest country? And where are these precious locations? According to Paravichini, these safe locations have been prepared since ancient times, but it's definitely not in the richest countries in the world, because they will be targeted and will be conflict areas in the future. But you might be asking, but I'm in the US, and why not me? You might be asking this, but there is an evil plan prepared for us since the longest time. A master plan. Evil indeed. So let's take a look at the future conflict areas map. If you notice, the first world countries are the ones with the most nuclear weapons, which will be the first ones to be attacked, because insanely they've been storing most nuclear weapons and they plan to use them to destroy humanity with the third world. So it's time to wake up. Don't you see a major conflict or see what's going on around power countries who are investing big time and big bucks in beautiful weapons of destruction? So let's see what Paravichini talks about, which includes the warnings of the Third World War and the promised locations, which is the main reason of this video. He mentions that is a great hope for those who saw unprepared and understood the meaning of life, because there's a great intelligence who is behind all living particles in the infinite and beyond the cosmos, is so supreme that cannot allow to create a planet so it can be humiliated, crushed, and destroyed by maniacs, and finally extinguished and completely exterminated by the lizard people. It cannot be possible that an entire planet and all life sustained could be destroyed by psychopaths? No, that will be completely false, because according to Paravichini, there is a cosmic plan which are in the prophecies, and also talks about the ascension of humanity, which are going to become the new golden race, who the Hobbit talks about in the future, which it will come or present. Paravichini talks about these special places in Latin America, which were carefully chosen for these events. And Paravichini mentions that the structures of the world will change because of the Third World War, and also an imminent asteroid or Planet X, which is coming after it, following by a pole shift, as saving humanity from nuclear extermination. Because if this event didn't come, humanity for sure will be extinguished. As Paravichini mentions that the atom will arrive and regime 1939. So Paravichini mentions the safe zones, which is away from this madness. We will begin with the first psychography, which reads as follows: Latinoamerica, World Home, Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. In here, Paravichini is referring about Latin America having a big role by sheltering humanity and helping out during the war. They will be the hope for humanity. In the next psychography says the change will be in Latin America. His change will not be until the change of that change, because seeing he did not see, he will see. Paravichini, 1972. In this psychography, Paravichini talks about that will be a change in Latin America, because they're going to be the ones to see first the earth changes, and also change drastically in love and unity, because they know they have a big role to play to help humanity. As we read this other psychography, Latin America will soon be invaded by the truth and will know recovering God. Prophecy of 1972. As you can see, the little kid in the drawing is having a big heart. As you notice here, there is a cosmic plan, and one of these places are in Latin America. You might be wondering, but that's not where I am. Unfortunately, those areas will be exterminated. And in war or after the war, the pole shift will crush it. As you can see it in the Futures Conflict Areas map, and as well in this video. What did you notice? Did you notice that they've been detonating nuclear bombs, but South America luckily hasn't been touched due to their poor economy, which is a good thing, since money is hard to come by and there is less maniacs blowing up money on weapons. As this psychography describes how these maniacs are going to use them. And it says as follows: the first death arrives. Humanity contains hatred within itself, which due to such hatred and ambition will declare wars and more wars, totaling itself into a single world war. Humanity will be divided into two parts, and those parts will be destroyed without listening to the voice of the high and without listening to each other. Races versus races, ideas versus political ideas, religions against religions, classes against classes. The desolation arrives. The first death arrives that will not scare and will not stop. Arrives. Words. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. In here, Paravichini talks about which in Spanish means Orden Magna, and translated in English, it means the Great Order, which will be after the war with the incoming asteroid. Up next, I'm gonna place a video that was made by Princeton University, and what follows is a depiction of how a conflict between Russia and US could escalate from a conventional war to all-out nuclear war. This is completely horrendous. Casualties 9.5 million people, listen and understand. This is in a matter of minutes. Not thinking of other trillions of people after the effects and displaced from their homes with some serious radioactive damage. That's why Paravichini talks about the incoming asteroid right after the war. So we see it in this psychography, which reads as follows: the cataclysm will be preached, but no one will believe it. But it will come. Humanity defeated cataclysm. Prophecy of 1939. Benjamin Solary Paravichini. Not only Paravichini talks about this incoming celestial event, other people talks about too, but I will be talking that in another video. In the meantime, we see that a lot of people in Latin America know about these prophecies and are preparing to receive people from around the world. And it's easy to notice because around different sites are talking about these prophecies. As we read in this psychography, Latin America will see in love and will know of its hidden values. It will build. Prophecy of 1972, Benjamin Solary Paravichini. Certainly, they definitely know something most countries don't know. And that's the reason why we see more UFOs in Latin America than anywhere else in the world. But not only Paravichini mentioned about these areas, also famous Chixo Xavier talks about it, and he says that men will start the Third World War, but those who will end it will be the telluric forces of nature. We will face earthquakes, explosion of extinct volcanoes, melting ice. This will end up disabling the north of the earth. Prophecy of 1986, Chixo Xavier. The UN will decide the invasion of the nations of the southern hemisphere, including Brazil and all the South America, Australia, and Southern Africa. Our nations will be occupied military and divided among the survivors of the northern hemisphere. So you see, there is the safe areas which are in the south of the planet. As Paravichini mentioned in this other psychography, Latin America will be the cradle of love after the Great Flare. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. Paravichini not only talks about the war and the asteroid, but also talks about a solar event, which is in my video, the next catastrophe, but I will be talking about it in much more detail in another video. In the meantime, we are focusing in the safe zones. So we continue reading, and it reads as follows. South America and Latin America Union will be the future beacon of the world. A new civilization at the end of the flame. The new South America will see what the world will not see, and will be in love after the three smokes. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. The three smokes are something like a major catastrophe of planetary equivalent. So the next message of Paravichini says as follows. Message in the text. Lands that will be the promise of tomorrow. Argentina, granary of the world. Brazil, arm of charity and love of neighbor. Chile, culture in elevation. Argentina, port of celestial gate. Green pastures of red flowers. Argentina will speak and say, lands I have for those who suffering in burning, for the homeless, for the orphaned child, for the dispossessed, for the elderly, for the sick, for the born, and for those who must be born. In this place of promise, Argentina, Samaritan of the world. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. It is definitely Argentina, a place of promise and hope for the entire human race. That is incredible and truly beautiful. As we read the next psychography, Walter, you who observe, go to the beach of the silver sands. There awaits lighthouse of lighthouses. Benjamin Solary Paravichini. He's talking about Neuquén, which is a place in Argentina, which will be safer from the Third World War. Argentina is empty because it must remain empty until the day of arrival of the wonder brother of the world in the fires. Prophecy of 1972, Benjamin Solary Paravichini. It's definitely an incredible place for the human race. As we continue to read, Argentina in love, it will be love for the one who cried, and will be the hug for the one who fell into the role of the blind. Argentina, Samaritan of the world. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. He also talks about Venezuela. Venezuela will see its peace in love, will see its wealth and organized power after the rains. Prophecy of Solary, 1972. The rains after the rains means that the situation Venezuela is facing at the moment. Brazil will see what it did not see. It will understand. It will be strong. He will open his hand to the one who suffered, the one who cried. Wow! Brazil definitely is truly special and the key of love. It is definitely a place of hope. Next, psychography reads as follows. Light, the children of the northern highlands will see the light of tomorrow after the great cataclysm that separates South America from Central and North America. Then the light will be from the south. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1938. Paravichini here is talking about the cataclysm that is gonna rupture part of the North American, South American continent, which famous contactee Alberto Sequa talks about it, and also says after this rupture it will be the pole shift. The next psychography reads as follows: the bronze man of Latin America will find his land without land, his being without being, his life without life. On the day of the new vision then will deliver new existence in reconstruction and love. Benjamin Solary Paravichini. In this psychography, Paravichini is really pointing out about the new vision, which is in Latin America, and the bronze men, that means the variety of different races combined. These ones won't discriminate by color or culture and will help with love and compassion for the difficult things that we'll be facing, and will bring the new vision of the future of humanity. As we read in the next psychography, the song of the humble son will not be sung in the burning lands. It will be in Argentina. In Union, Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. Here it's easy to point out that the people who are gonna be in the difficult areas will be the burning lands, who are obviously not singing a happy song. It will be completely the opposite, as I will be talking about in the next video. Next psychography reads as follows: Argentina will show after the test the new men, and the new men will teach. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1972. These new men or women will have new mentalities, a new way of life, with complete understanding of sharing and tolerance, which is gonna be a key to pass into this new dimension that we are going to face. As we read, birds from distant planets will bring to Earth in the end the teaching of different civility. They will preach and deliver a new tonic of faith to the world, providing telepathic development. Men will then be in the fourth dimension. With the passing of the year 2000, the new Earth will know of the prolonged existence of the new man. It will speak without a guttural expression. It will see without sight. It will think without a mind. It will sustain without a mouth. It will be of a superior aspect and beautiful countenance. There I, fourth dimension. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1960. Here Paravichini is talking about the golden race, which are definitely the ones that the Hopi talks about. As we go into our cycle of evolution, as we read in this other psychography, the fourth dimension will be in the hour. Benjamin Solary Paravichini. This will be accomplished with the help of our cosmic friends, who are indeed sending telepathic messages to help us and warn us about the future events and an imminent pole shift. As many people have been having these dreams about this event of a giant waves or burning buildings and different catastrophic scenarios which are truly terrifying. Unfortunately, these are real events coming to the future, which we need to be prepared, and also are warnings which our cosmic friends are giving us in order to prepare without falling into fear, because there is a cosmic plan and also a lot of hope for humanity as we read in this. Because our cosmic friends won't be sitting around as we read in this other psychography. At the end of the time, in the first of the hour, once again the astro navigators of yesterday will descend to Earth, bearing his warnings. These blue beings will live life with the blind men. Their ships will be kept on the high peaks of mountainous regions within already no craters. The astral spaceship will do good to the terrestrial. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1960. These are definitely shocking revelations. As we continue to read, satellites, extraterrestrial laboratories where work is done for humanity. Their culture of germs harmful to the earth are made to find a way to completely annihilate them. In them, the way to put an end to the diseases that devastated men is south. The one who did a lot and made little progress in the face of the reality of other worlds, exactly like this one. Satellites nearby laboratories that are revolving around us with beings capable of all matters necessary for what is proposed. It will cleanse the atmosphere of the toxins that populate it. This is another primordial object for which they descended, since the danger suffered by the terrestrial is known in them. Total death by suffocation. A short-term fact. They are specialized scholars who constantly travel in small medical ships to Earth and neighboring planets. They seek blood and other vital elements from men to make them artificially, awaiting our chaos. We will be helped by them. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1940. This is truly amazing. It's beautiful, to say the least. Also, when Paravichini talks about these ET satellites, perhaps could be the one in our moon, which is definitely an artificial satellite, but that's my interpretation. You can do your own as well. As we read in this psychography, faced with the constant extraterrestrial shipping visits, science will deny, then it will doubt, and finally will say, true, it is, and our wisdom has been left behind. Centuries watch and contemplate us. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1940. It's truly hard to believe that Paravichini wrote that in 1940. To say that was truly outrageous. How Paravichini knew this, that the governments around the globe were going to react like this about our extraterrestrial friends, all the way back in the 1940s. That is truly shocking and mind-blowing. As we continue with Paravichini, he mentioned that in the late 30s too, that space beings arrive. He wrote that Android in 1938. I know I'm supposed to talk about the safe zones, but this also involves about our cosmic guides, which are giving us tools to survive and a navigation map for the safe zones, as well as rescuing some. As we read in this psychography, the spaceships of the key and key in the form of fish of fire, they will travel to Earth on a high relief mission. They will descend on its already familiar South Pole. They will dwell in the ice until the hour of the hour. Benjamin Solary Paravichini. In here, Paravichini is talking about a high rescuing mission from a divine source, which I'm pretty sure is from Jesus, who is the main logos of the universe, who he is working alone with angelic beings, which are the one in the same, our cosmic friends. As we read in this psychography, total victory of man over evil. Christ Mundus will be saved and will be Christ. Christ in the world. He will come in from the final cataclysm. The sea will be calm, and in the new geographical map, the blue Sahara will be seen as the Pacific in the Virgo. The moon will have overshadowed the sun and illuminating the new moon, the Apnis. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1938. Here we need to analyze this. Paravichini talks about Jesus definitely coming back as he promised, and also a new moon and a completely geological changes of the earth. But let's steer off our main focus into the safe zones, which is our main objective. As Paravichini mentions, hunger will devastate the world, men in their frightful exhaustion, but Americans will be promises. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1939. As we take a closer look, that part of North America is underwater, as we see in these other prophecies that are called the night times that will change the world, are prophecies from the people from the Pleiades, which is a star system of 2.5 million light years away. These prophecies are in the book of Enrique Castillo Rincon, who wrote a book to inform humanity. Also, his reference is in Ancient Alien Show, Episode 7, Season 12, on History Channel. As it says as follow: the condor to the eagle, food he shall give. The lands from the south, sustenance shall send. From the book, as we can see, South America is a big key for the future safe zones, as well as South Africa and the Southern Hemisphere, as we can see in the future maps. As Paravichini mentions that Africa will see the Neptunians in 69. That means that they are gonna be watching our cosmic friends who are visiting Africa. In 69 means during that time, but this prophecy was made in 1938. And also I think Africa has a lot of safe zones because South Africa is far away from conflict areas and also maniacs who are trying to destroy humanity. With this, I will finish my video with a beautiful message from our cosmic friends, from the one and only Paravichini, and reads like this: the star cell blue star will prove the existence of God with arduous effort, because the men will have forgotten him for the gold. In real presence, the shipping agent will speak telepathically of the great universe, of the planets and superior men of amazing civilizations, and will say, everything is the work of God. The ship owner with determination will emphasize, everything belongs to God, as you are, earthly men. Abandon fetishes, the desire for new gods, new leaders, and new religions, so they won't be. Learn to be of God, and you will be. Benjamin Solary Paravichini, 1960. Here are some of the psychographies used in this video. Not all, because they were too many. Anyways, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in another galaxy.